During this lockdown, I got a chance to share my knowledge and experience on construction and project management with the help of this video. Here, I try to cover few important topics, skills, tools and techniques to be used in construction and project management. In this video, shall talk all about project objective, project success, budget time and resource relationship, tools to prepare schedule, resources liquidation plan, and KPI to manage the project. Project objective: to deliver the project event within a time frame and allotted budget. Project success: success of a project is measured by time, cost and quality. Budget time and resources relationship: I try to explain relationship between budget time and resources with the help of this equilateral triangle. In triangle ACD, height BD is denoted by duration, base AC is resources deployment and area ACD is budget. See, if time overruns by DE, then budget will increase and would be ACE, and again time overruns by EF, then budget would be ACF. So it is very much clear from this triangle that if time overruns, then budget will go up. So can say budget is directly proportionate to the time. On other hand, if we extend baseline of this triangle, assuming area, that is budget, is constant, then height of the triangle would be reduced. Means if we deploy infinite resources, then project can be completed before time and in budget. Tools to prepare optimized and aggressive schedule. Number 1, using PERT and CPM method. It is a traditional way to prepare a bottleneck schedule, and these methods are being used in MS Project, Primavera, etc. Second one is coexistence of PERT and CPM with CCPM. It is used to prepare very aggressive schedule. Critical chain project management aggregates a large amount of safety and allows to take feeder buffer up to 50% of an individual task duration. And finally, we get project buffer. Schedule preparation: A, B, C, D, E, F, WBS ID of task engineering, procurement and supply, civil work, mechanical erection, electrical and CI and work, and commissioning under blue shade. And schedule prepared as per PERT and CPM is under green shade. So here duration to complete the project is 550 days. After applying CCPM on this schedule, it is shown under brown shade. So duration is reduced by 50%, that is now 275 days, and remaining 50% is taken as feeder buffer, that is 275 days. So project buffer is taken 50% of feeder buffer, so it comes 137.5 days. So total duration to complete the project is 412.5 days, whereas it is 550 days as per schedule made by CPM. It is explained in block-wise arrangement below of this table, you can see. But in this case, we need to deploy more and infinite resources. Buffer fever chart: it is used for monitoring and controlling the project progress. In this chart, Percentage of project duration consumed is shown on x-axis, and on y-axis percentage of project buffer consumed. It is divided in 3 zones: green zone, yellow zone and red zone. 4 points are marked to check the performance of project at particular time. So point 1, when 20% project duration is consumed and 10% project buffer is consumed. So it comes in green zone, means project is under control. And at point 2, where 40% of project duration is consumed and 30% of project buffer is consumed. This point comes in yellow zone. Still project is under control, but some action need to be taken so that it should not move in red zone. Now see at point number 3, where 60% of project duration is consumed and 70% of project buffer is consumed. This point comes in red zone. Things are critical here, and now project manager need to take immediate action to bring it in yellow zone. So at point 4, 90% project duration is consumed and 85% project buffer is consumed. So this point again come in yellow zone. Now things are under control and can be managed. Buffer burning ratio, that is ratio of percentage of project buffer consumed to the percentage of project duration consumed, should be maintained less than or equal to 1. Monthly liquidation plan. For preparing a smart execution plan, we must have monthly liquidation plan of resources so that resources can be utilized efficiently and effectively. So this plan is for piling work. Total scope of work is given and it is distributed month wise, agency wise and area wise. Monthly plan and actual is also shown. Per day average plan and actual is also shown. For January month, total target is of 100 piling. So per day is need to do minimum 3 piling. To achieve this target, daily target of 3 piling, we need to have 67 manpower, 1 hydraulic rig, 1 crane, batching plant, transit miller, JCB, etc. And this month we achieved 100 piling. But in next month, February, we could achieve 100 piling against 150 planned. So backlog of this 50 piling would be added in March month. So March month plan became 200 piling and per day average is 7 piling. So to achieve this 7 piling in a day, we need to have 133 manpower, 2 hydraulic rig, etc. In table number 3, it is productivity norms. 1 hydraulic rig can do minimum 3 piling in a day, and to cater the requirement of 1 hydraulic rig, we need to have 1 crane and 60 manpower. Monthly liquidation plan for concreting work. Total scope of work is 22,000 cubic meter. It is distributed in month wise, area wise, agency wise. Monthly plan and actual, per day plan and actual, and table 2 resource deployment plan, and bottom side in red productivity norms. One man can do 3 cubic meter concrete in a month. This is monthly liquidation plan for mechanical erection. Total scope of work is 10,000 metric ton, and it is distributed month wise, area wise, and agency wise. Monthly plan, monthly actual, per day plan, and per day actual. So for September month's plan was 3 metric ton in a day. So to achieve this target, we need to have 50 manpower, 2 hydra, 1 hydraulic jack, etc. So this is resource deployment plan. And in bottom side, productivity norms. One man can erect 2 metric ton in a month. KPIs to control and manage the project. Key performance indicators are the values of success criteria that can be measured as the project progresses and helps to gauge the performance of employees and company as well. Here we will discuss project management plan, review of S-curve, various MIS report, DPR, WPR and MPR, percentage of milestone achieved or missed, estimate time to complete, the time still needed to complete the project, if time overruns, crash or fast track the schedule, assessment of productivity for optimal utilization of manpower, machine and other resources, tracking of the product flow rate, that is tracking sheet of engineering, procurement and manufacturing, and delivering the material at site. Issue tracking sheet, spot and resolve the issues immediately. Ratio of expenditures spent per month. Cost sheet, budget sheet, estimate cost at completion. So compare cost incurred versus baseline cost and prepare cost forecast. EBI TDA, project based EBI TDA sheet to track revenue and expenditure. Risk management, identification, assessment, response plan and mitigation. Analysis of safety statistics report. Change control process. Project management plan. Project management plan is a baseline tool used as a reference to manage the project. It is an important document in overall planning, monitoring and implementation of the project. One management plan is shown here. It contains a start date, end date, duration, project title, then task start date, end date, duration of task, status and assigned to responsible person. So when feasibility report need to be started and when is completed, then identification of a stakeholder, preparation of project scope, setting the milestone, preparing WBS, project schedule, budget cost sheet, risk analysis, define KPIs, etc. S-curve. An S-curve is used to visualize the progress and performance of a project over time. It shows cumulative progress of the project and form a historical record of project trends and variations. Normally S-curve have actual cumulative and planned cumulative, but I advise to have planned week, actual week, backlog of the week and then catch up plan, so that we can have catch up cumulative curve also, so we can compare all these three and can resolve the issues. These details give more clarity and project performance. Cost sheet. It is of mega thermal power project. In particulars, all the project packages, services, etc. are mentioned. and contract value, column number 2, the total contract value of the project is 5,500 crores. And column number 3, contract budget. This is basically baseline budget to complete the project. So 4,700 crores need to spend to complete this project at particular time. When we monitor the cost sheet, so at that time committed cost 3,950 crores and cost forecast is 1,050 crores. So cost at completion become 5,000 crores. At this point profit margin is reduced. Here profit margin became 9% only, whereas at beginning of the project, when control budget was estimated 4,700 crores, profit margin was around 15%. EBITDA, earning before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization. Basically it is a finance KPI, but tracking and monitoring of project wise EBITDA would certainly help the project manager in managing monthly cash in and cash out. And format is given: total project value 500 crore, project duration 10 months and billed as on date. Row number 1, net billing to client, that is revenue generation distributed in month wise. Then total expenditure, which include cost of supply and services, salaries, site expenses, overheads and office expenses. So difference of these two is operating profit, that is EBITDA. It comes around 30%, 35%, 38% depending on the project. So it helps in managing monthly cash flow of an individual project. Risk management, it is essential, not optional. Uncertain events that have negative impact on the project is called risk, and that have positive impact on the project called opportunity. Risk may be internal or may be external. So risk management plan, how to plan overall risk management. First of all, identification of the risk by using our past experience, the brainstorming, using Delphi technique, etc. Then assessment of risk, qualitative with the help of probability impact matrix, and quantitative risk assessment with the help of Monte Carlo simulator. Risk register to be maintained and monitored periodically. In the risk register, WSID, risk test description, type of the risk, causes, consequences of the risk, then probability of occurrence A, and severity of impact B, and existing control C. And product of all these three is a risk priority number that defines the label of risk: low, medium or high. Cost impact on the risk, risk owner, response plan, responsible person, and status of the risk. And at the end of the register, we need to mention risk residual too, because after mitigating any risk, some residual used to remain, and that need to be catered. Sure. Zero accident vision. Safety is very much important in any project. Should focus on zero accident vision. Nobody should be injured due to an accident. It may be noted that before one fatality, we get 3,03,330 alarms to take corrective measures and to avoid accident, which is shown with the help of safety triangle. Change control process. It is useful to record those activities, works which are not covered in scope of the project but have to execute to fulfill client's requirement or due to any other reason. This process helps for claiming extra work done against the changes carried out. So process of the change control management is shown here. So in order for planning, implementation, monitoring and controlling the project, I discussed on all the KPIs and skills in brief. Shall upload more videos on individual topics in details. Thank you.